Have you ever wondered, what if a train could run forever, ignoring the laws of time? What if something rides the Moscow metro that doesn't belong to our world? The Moscow metro isn't just transportation, it's a universe of riddles, myths, and fears. One of the most mysterious stories is the legend of the ghost train. They say it appears once a month, its doors never open, and the passengers inside seem frozen in time. What if, one night, you saw this train with your own eyes? Tonight, we're diving into the most mystical secret of the Moscow metro, the disappearance of a train in 1962. I'll tell you not only the legend, but also real testimonies and theories that still haunt the minds of Muscovites. Ready? Let's go. In the very heart of Moscow, where millions descend into the metro daily, there's something few have seen, but everyone's heard about. In 1962, a train vanished from the Circle Line with all its passengers and the driver. They searched for days. No trace, no accident, no breakdown. Authorities quickly covered it up, but rumors spread throughout the city. Theories appeared, everything from accounting mistakes to real mysticism. According to unofficial reports, no one saw the train exit the tunnel. It simply dissolved into darkness. Years later, stories began to surface. Drivers and night workers claimed to see an old train that shouldn't be on the line. It became a legend, feared even by the most seasoned metro staff. Why did the train vanish? What really happened that night? And where did the people go? There's a chilling legend whispered among Moscow's metro workers and late-night travelers. A tale of a ghost train that you can never meet by accident, no matter how hard you try. It's said that the train chooses who sees it, not the other way around. This mysterious train appears only once a month, always on the darkest, most silent night, when the city above is asleep and the metro tunnels are nearly deserted. Only a handful of passengers, if any, are around to witness its passing. The train itself looks like a relic from another era. Its carriages are old-fashioned, straight out of the 1960s, with faded paint and worn-out seats, as if it's been traveling the tunnels for decades without ever stopping. Inside, the atmosphere is thick and heavy. The lights flicker dimly, barely illuminating the shadowy figures in the windows. Passengers who seem frozen in time, unmoving, their faces pale and expressionless. The ghost train never opens its doors. It glides silently past the platform, never slowing down, never giving anyone a chance to board or leave. Some say it doesn't even make a sound, just a cold rush of air as it passes. Several metro workers claim to have seen it from afar. A strange, low hum fills the air, and the train seems to float just above the rails, as if it's not really part of this world at all. Even after the train disappears into the darkness, the tunnels don't feel empty. Echoes of footsteps and distant, ghostly voices linger, as if the spirits of the passengers are still wandering underground. The most terrifying part, people say, are the passengers themselves. Their faces are twisted in fear, eyes wide and unblinking, as if they're trapped in a nightmare they can never escape. Some witnesses claim that if you stare too long into the windows, you'll feel a cold shiver down your spine, as if someone, or something, is staring right back at you from the other side. There's even a story about a metro driver who tried to stop the ghost train. He vanished for hours, only to be found wandering the other side of the city, confused and with no memory of what happened during that lost time. That's why new metro workers are always warned. If you ever see a strange train late at night, don't look it in the eye and never ever try to chase it. The risk is simply too great, because if you do, you might just find yourself trapped inside, becoming one of its ghostly crew, forever riding the endless haunted tracks beneath Moscow. 1962 was the turning point for this city legend. The year began like any other, with the city bustling and life moving at its usual pace. But what happened underground would change the way Muscovites saw their metro forever. It all started as an ordinary day. The Circle Line was running smoothly. Trains arrived and departed on schedule, and commuters hurried to their destinations, unaware that something extraordinary was about to unfold. Suddenly, one train didn't show up at the next station. Passengers waiting on the platform grew restless, glancing at their watches and wondering about the delay. Dispatchers thought it was a system glitch, but the train had vanished. They checked their instruments, called other stations, and tried to trace the missing train. but it was as if it had simply disappeared into thin air. Crews walked the tunnels, checking every meter. No trace, no crash. The tracks were empty, and there was no sign of an accident or malfunction. It was as if the train and its passengers had been swallowed by the darkness. Officially, the incident was buried quickly, but the archives kept notes about strange noises and discrepancies in the schedule. Some reports mentioned odd echoes and unexplained vibrations in the tunnels that day, details that never made it to the public. Families of the missing were told, "Your loved ones aren't listed anywhere." Officials offered no answers, only silence and confusion, leaving relatives desperate for any information. As if dozens of people were erased from reality. Their names vanished from records, their faces fading from memory, leaving only questions and grief behind. Since then, the Circle Line has been shrouded in rumors. Whispers of the lost train circulate among metro workers and passengers, fueling a sense of unease that lingers to this day. Old metro hands told stories of equipment suddenly failing and lights flickering for no reason. Some say the air grows colder near the spot where the train vanished, and that radios pick up static and strange voices late at night. On certain nights, the sound of wheels can be heard in the tunnel, though there should be no trains. The echoes seem to come from nowhere, as if the lost train is still searching for a way back. No explanation for the disappearance has ever been found. The mystery endures, haunting the city's underground and reminding everyone that some secrets remain forever hidden beneath Moscow's streets. Of all the theories, the most mysterious is the time loop theory. Some believe the train got trapped between time and space. An unusual electromagnetic field, or a perfect storm of factors, created a loop, trapping the train forever. For the passengers inside, time stopped. They don't age, can't leave, their lives turned into endless waiting. Metro archives contain reports of electronic malfunctions and strange temperature changes. Sometimes thick fog formed in the tunnels, in which even experienced workers got lost. This idea gave birth to myths. That during certain astronomical events, the train becomes visible to ordinary people. If you're on the platform at that moment, you may see it, but maybe you won't return to your normal reality. Because if the train is stuck in time, somewhere under Moscow, people live who don't even know they've become ghosts. Over the years, more and more stories about the strange train have surfaced, whispered among the workers, and passed down from one generation to the next. These tales have become a part of the metro's hidden folklore, growing in detail and mystery with every retelling. Drivers have shared chilling accounts of encounters with a train that appears out of nowhere. An old carriage, not listed on any schedule, its paint faded and its lights barely glowing. Some say it glides silently, while others recall the screech of its brakes echoing through empty tunnels. Sometimes, the mysterious train rushes past so quickly that even the most experienced workers can't make out its details. It's as if the train exists in a different time, flickering between the past and present, leaving only a blur in its wake. Security staff have reported hearing strange, unexplained sounds, footsteps echoing in the darkness, or the distant hum of an engine. Yet when they check the cameras, nothing appears. The tunnels remain empty, deepening the sense of unease. There are also stories of shadowy figures in the windows, motionless silhouettes with haunting, unforgettable faces. Some witnesses claim the figures seem to watch them, their eyes following as the train slips by. One technician, after witnessing the ghostly train, was overcome by a sudden chill and lost consciousness right there in the tunnel. When he awoke, his watch had jumped forward by half an hour, as if time itself had been disturbed. After such encounters, strange malfunctions often follow. Lights flicker and go out, machines break down for no reason, and radios fall silent. It's as if the train's presence disrupts the very technology around it, leaving chaos in its wake. On one occasion, the platform alarm began blaring unexpectedly, startling everyone nearby. Yet, when staff rushed to investigate, they found no trains, no passengers, nothing to explain the disturbance. Some might dismiss these stories as the result of exhaustion or overactive imaginations. But when dozens of workers, from drivers to technicians, all describe the same eerie events, it becomes harder to ignore. Perhaps there's more to these tales than just urban legend. The mystery of the ghost train lingers, leaving both workers and passengers to wonder what truly haunts the depths of the Moscow metro. Imagine, night, the last trains have gone, the metro is empty, you stand on the platform, silence all around, only footsteps echoing. Suddenly, a strange hum comes from the tunnel, the lights start to flicker. A train emerges from the darkness, old, with fogged up windows. Inside, motionless figures, their faces impossible to see, but you feel their gaze. The train stops, doors remain closed. For a few seconds, you hear a faint knock, as if someone inside is trying to get your attention. The train disappears as suddenly as it appeared. The lights return. Now you know. This legend isn't just a scary story, but a real mystery, best left alone. The most terrifying part of the legend: if the train stops in front of you and the doors open, they say you'll feel as if someone is calling you inside. One step, and you're already on board. The doors close silently. Inside, dim lights, strange faces that don't respond to your questions. The passengers don't move, only sometimes turning their heads to follow you. Attempts to leave, useless. The doors won't open. The train moves into the darkness. You lose track of time. For everyone else, you disappear. Sometimes families receive strange phone calls, only static and a barely audible voice on the other end. In this part of the legend, there's no salvation. If you get on the ghost train, there's no way back. Even the bravest metro workers admit, if you see a strange train at night, just walk away. You could write it all off as urban legend and fear. But why do stories of the ghost train match up across completely different people? Testimonies from drivers, workers, random passengers, all describe the same details. Psychologists say collective fears can create illusions, especially in closed spaces. But why do even seasoned professionals tell the same story? Some believe such legends are the metro's way of protecting itself from outsiders. But the coincidences are just too precise to ignore. Sometimes it seems our world is completely ruled by the laws of physics and logic. But the story of the ghost train reminds us, not everything has an explanation, and not every mystery should be solved. The Moscow metro is not just transport. It's a reflection of our memory, fears, and hopes. Maybe the ghost train is just a metaphor, a riddle we've invented for ourselves. Or maybe reality is much scarier than we're willing to admit. Sometimes it's better to leave some doors closed, because behind them may be something that will never let you go.